I think she was doing what she liked doing and enjoying it, and both with horses and with cars.
She enjoyed life. That was the point about Pat. She really did it.
And it's typical Stuart Turner. I mean, I think I'm a great fan of his. I would recommend the book, because the only reason I would recommend it so much is because I found myself laughing so much. And if you can pick up a book and then really enjoy it, which I did, so I'd say to any reader, if you don't enjoy it, then you've got no sense of humour. I think it's in the family, to tell you the truth. I think the family is very competitive. My sister was pretty strong, I can tell you that. My sister was no weakling.
All you can be is the best of your time, and Pat was head and shoulders the best lady driver.
Riding a horse, particularly if you're jumping a horse, you've got to be one with the horse. You put the horse on, sort of thing. And I think that very much goes in with cars as well. If you're a competitive nature, it doesn't just stop after one to the other. I mean, it can go right through the whole of your life, I think. And certainly, I think in our case, Pat and myself, I think it did do so. I mean, she was very determined as a driver. I mean, she won the World Championship and so on, and also in riding and it's just, I think it's a personality trait, really.
Her relationship with Stirling was interesting. I remember when I was navigating for Pat, going to the house and meeting the parents. And at one point, I honestly thought World War III was about to break out, because they were shouting at each other. I was hiding under the table out of the way. 2 minutes later, gales of laughter, everybody was friends. So it was a very volatile but very amicable, and they both of course had the love of horses as the starting point. And the key with that is, for horse riding and for driving, you need balance. And therefore horse riding is one of the, even before you start karting, get on horses and get a feel for balance.
If you can ride and you know how to collect a horse before a jump and so on and get it right, if that's your way of life, which it certainly was with my sister, I think it helps you with cars as well.
I think as well as the balance, going to horse events and taking horse boxes and trailers and things, it gave her a practical, down-to-earth approach. And the horse world is not twee or fey or anything like that. It's a very earthy world, and Pat fitted into it perfectly. I think it gave her determination. It probably gave her a certain amount of mechanical aptitude too, because you've got to be knocking things out and making the trailer work and bits and pieces. I think that helped too. For me, to be co-driver to Pat was awesome, because at that time Stirling, her brother, got more coverage than almost the entire Formula One grid today gets in terms of national media. So to me, I was in awe of the Moss family, and to be invited to navigate for Pat Moss was terrific. I was scared because of the awe, and then I realised what a wonderful person she was. Totally relaxed, no side on her, no side on her at all, just a nice person. So it became an easy thing to do.
Well, I think she was doing what she liked doing and enjoying it, and both with horses and with cars. I mean, she used to call cars, those smelly, oily things. When I first said to her, "Let's come in the car," I don't want to be those smelly, oily things. I much prefer the horses. And then gradually, of course, that dropped away, and she then began to appreciate and enjoy the competition. And I mean, she drove cars that are pretty tough. I mean, a Healey is not your easy car, and she'd throw it around. I mean, she was pretty good.
When I became Pat's manager, that was also a privilege, because it was a joy to deal with her. But I then also saw her determination to get the best out of her car, the best out of herself, and the best out of the backup crew. She was one of the few drivers, for instance, when she moved from one team to another, she invariably gave every member of the previous team a gift, and we've all still got gifts she gave us when she left BMC. Terrific person.
Yeah, I can tell you, we did actually. We had Sebring. It's not a rally. At Sebring, Donald Healy put in a team of 3 sprites against the Arbas, which of course were miles faster, and that was Pat, myself, and Steve McQueen. And Steve actually was quite quick, and Pat certainly kept up with us. You know, I mean, she was very competitive. I mean, if you're talking about now speed, then when I was on top form, I think I probably would be quicker. But she did win the Liège outright on her own, which I think is pretty good going.
The greatest tribute you can pay to a rally driver is that other rally drivers look for their test times. If they get to the end of a section, they will immediately look, what did so-and-so do? What did so-and-so do? The rally drivers in our team, certainly, when they got to the end of a test, they didn't say, what did the lady driver do? They said, what was Pat's time? And that's the greatest tribute you can pay.
You had a chance to read the text from the book. Yeah?
I have read some of it, and it's typical Stuart Turner. I mean, I think I'm a great fan of his. I think he's a very funny man, and if you've ever heard him talk after dinner, then I mean, I hate to follow him. I mean, he really is very clever, and what I read of the book, I thought was terrific. I found myself laughing at it so many times.
I was intrigued that Stirling commentators made it laugh. I think he's being generous. I didn't try and write it as a humorous book, although, in fairness, both Pat and Stirling have got a very earthy, ribald sense of humour. So I hope a little of that flavour's come through. I didn't deliberately set out to make it a funny book, but Pat would not have wanted me to make it a deadly serious, black-edged tome. It was not intended to be that. I don't know of many people, in fact, apart from Stirling, who has a huge zest for life, I don't know anyone with that same zest for life about her. Suzy, her daughter, has, and in fact it's uncanny just how alike they are in some ways. But I live near Stratford-on-Avon, so Shakespeare's a bit of an interest, and he talked about someone in one of his plays being a lass unparalleled, and that to me summed up Pat. I've never known anybody like her.